just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
Killer fashion.
$80 laps around Kentucky Speedway, and we'll have all the action for you all season long right here on V-Speed. I'm Sky Shrek, and I'm joined in the booth tonight by Dave Regal. Michael McCarthy will be our producer.
Degree bank, turn 3 and 4 are 14-degree bank. The front stretch is 10 degrees, and the back stretch is 4. They're going to be leaning on the left side of these cars the entire time. That G-force is going to have to get them centered into the cockpits. Right now, 78 degrees.
Sometime, and it races very differently to about a mile and a half. It's got a lot different banking, a lot wider in turns 3 and 4 as well. So this is a bit of a unique track that these drivers are going to have to keep an eye on. We're going to get a look at our schedule at Old Atlanta. We're going to have some points here as well. What we have coming into this race. Actually, I don't believe we have points here after only one race, but I can tell you our winner last week in the ARCA series was Barrett Morton. Survived the chaos there, got a bye. Stay tuned.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red that star-spangled banner yet waving o'er the land of the free.
For you for tonight's race, it's going to be 80 laps tonight, and looking on pole, it's going to be Joseph McWhorter there in the 72. You can see all the cars lining up on pit road as we get ready to go tonight. Taking a look at your starting grid, the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award is going to go to Joseph McWhorter in the 72. Jake Ellingson on his outside in the 27. Sean Kaiser will roll off third tonight in that 88 car. Christian Angel
Put onto the inside of row 6 alongside of James Goshen. Row 7 going to feature Andy Kurtz out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania, and Daniel Craigheel from down there in America's heartland in St. Louis. Brandon Wallace gets things going on the inside of row number 8 with Benjamin Richards to his.
Jeremiah Holt rolls off 25th tonight in the 73 car, and we're going to have Bobby Whitley on his outside in the 60. 27th, Bobby Whitley on his outside in the 60. 27th will be Joshua Unger in the 51. Ricky Sid
in 35th. Noah in 35th. Noah Hoagie Hogard, you folks know him from last season. He's going to be in 36th. And Brock Price and Doug Ellingson going to be starting shotgun on the field as we have 38 cars scheduled to take the green flag tonight. The iRacing Joseph McWhorter takes the green flag. It's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab your popcorn, your honey buns, and settle in. Race fans, it's showtime!
Christian Angel back there as well. Couple cars really going to battle early in this race. Mark Whitley is down on the inside lane there in that 74 car, trying to move his way up through the field.
Dropping back into 22nd position as Mark Cofield in the 97 lays fast time down at 31.32 seconds. We're going to see a couple more fast laps before these.
That worked out for y'all here very shortly. For now, still got that battle for third going on between the 74, Mark Whitley, the 1 of Eldon Stewart side by side right there. Jake Ellingson, Christian Angel going door to door.
But they're not wasting any time. I've been keeping an eye on the 01 of Mickey Isaac. He's now almost fender to fender with the 34. Third now, plus 11.
I believe that for sure. He's always one of the fastest drivers in these field. In this field, he knows how to get it done and way up to the field and be here at the end. He's a real title contender here coming down to the end of the season this year. We're still side by side right now for that second position this time. Mark Whitley, a lot of speed early on in that 74 car. He's gone from 7 to 2. He's looking on the outside of Sean Kaiser in that 88 car. 74 takes that position, and now Christian Angel in the 79 will try to follow him through. He will. He'll cut it down to the bottom. Sean Kaiser back to 4th. Mark Whitley is on a charge to the lead.
Whitley is someone we can never really count out here in the number 74. And I mean, you know, the Wilmington, North Carolina native is always, he's battling, you know, and as he takes this Jawa.GG Chevrolet up to the front, I mean, he's already up 5 slots, and we've got a caution. Looks like Casey Jones and Alan Smith may have had a moment further back on the track.
Alan Smith, your second place finisher last week. That is going to be a problem there for that 00 KFC machine. He's definitely going to want to have a better race than that to try and improve on his point standings from last week.
Oh my. Once that replay gets up there, that's going to be an interesting feat. The 00 finger looking good gets hit in the rear and just goes down to the inside of the track. Oy.
We're going to see if we see any pit stops here under this caution. I don't think we will. For the moment, it's still that 72 McWhorter, Mark Whitley up front. I can't imagine that we might see any yellows kind of early on in this race. A couple drivers moving up the field. Warren Clayton, Michael Jones, also 23 to 14, and checking the pit lane entry right here. Let's see if any takers. No, we got
Here
a lot
they
of
come.
takers.
We've got a lot of them.
Whitley, Kaiser, Ellingson. That's most of the field right there.
Yeah, go figure. As soon as the guys in the booth decide that something's probably not likely to happen, that's exactly when the entire field does what we didn't think. Pole sitter Joseph McWhorter coming down here into box number 1. And speaking of being the pole sitter, we want to make sure that we tip our helmet to Jam Printing and Promotions. They sponsor our pole award out of Plainfield, Indiana. They are local and veterans, and when they do well, they could do more good in the community. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, and they provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company. And Joseph McWhorter now comes out of pit road. Looks like he shuffled all the way back to 9th position after a couple of other quick pit stops out of Sean Kaiser and Mark Cofield.
Yeah, taking a look at that pit strategy, kind of varied through the field here. You've got some cars like Sean Kaiser coming down for fuel only on that stop, quick 5-second pit stops. Joseph McWhorter, he came down, took 4 tires. So did Mark Whitley. That's going to put McWhorter back in 9th, Whitley back in 12th. 4 cars stayed out on track there. Tim Bates in the 989, Noah Hogard in the 158, Tyler White in the 63, and then Colton Sisk in the 96. He'll roll off 6th because he actually came out. The way it shook out is he actually ended up behind some of the cars who did pit, but he has not pit. He will roll off 6th. Lights on the pace car are off. We're going to go back double file this time.
Cars lining up 2 by 2, Noah's Ark style, as we come into turn number 1. Tim Bates going to be in control with his finger on the button. We want to thank our friends here at Goat Locker. Check out goatlockerracing.org/donate. As a contributor to Goat Locker Racing, Inc., we make sure that your donation goes directly to supporting our cause of helping military veterans and first responders, and we thank you in advance for your generosity. Quite frankly, the mission of what we do here at Goat Locker is incredible. It's what dragged me, away from sim racing media on a Monday night and put me in the booth alongside of you, Sky. And I mean, we make sure, at least from what I can gather at Goat Locker, we provide virtual racing equipment, racing team building opportunities, and fundraising events to support the community initiatives that improve military and public servant quality of life. We seek to grow our competitive team of drivers and promote VR racing as a healthy activity to newly transitioning veterans and their families, and we believe that friendly competition, adrenaline-soaked driving, and community gatherings are essential to a good quality of life for our civic servants and veterans, and that GLR can be a force of good across all of the state of Indiana and beyond. And those donations to GLR will include and fund equipment for qualifying drivers, racer simulation training for military, firefighters, EMS, and police.
Public wrecking at the back, I'm sorry.
We are wrecking already. Couldn't even get through the read as we are caution number 2, ahoy.
Yeah, I saw that one coming from a while. That stack up started right at the front of the field, and then you had about, really it looked like 10 or so cars there. Kind of that entire inside line just got stacked up in one big mess. We're going to take a look here at our Glove Station ARCA Series replay. I mean, you can see it starts right at the front there. All the cars go around. It looked like it started on the bottom, but then you had cars spinning off the top. You got cars wrecking on the top of the racetrack. There was a huge pile up on the bottom. Everybody involved. That's at least 10 or 11 cars with hard hits.
Yeah, and that's going to have implications, literally like ripples throughout the field. I mean, Noah Hoagie Hogard now works his way up here to the lead. Sean Kaiser shuffles into second. Tim Bates, Tyler White, and Colton Sisk. That's your top 5 as things go here. So there's a lot of these drivers who are suddenly looking at a completely different perspective from what we saw earlier on in this race, and this could be interesting moving forward.
Yeah, that is at least like 10 or 12 cars there that took damage in that. I think we're going to see a lot of the guys who got involved in that accident come down the pits here and take their fast repair. Each driver gets one over the course of the race, and this is probably going to be the time to use it, especially for some of those guys who took more major damage. We'll see if they come down, maybe throw some tires and fuel on it while they're in the box to try to lengthen the time until their next stop. It's going to be 66 to go here. If you are taking that fast repair now, you've got to hope you don't get involved in another accident over those next 66 laps, or else you could be in trouble.
You know, you take the words right out of my mouth, Sky. I mean, one of the things that I think is the hardest gamble, I mean, it's harder than picking winners, you know, in horse racing or baseball or anything else. Deciding when to use a fast repair in iRacing. I mean, you know, you can use that here 14 laps in, and you might be fine the rest of the race, or you might be annihilated in 3 laps. Or, you know, you save that to the very end, and maybe you struggled throughout the race and you should have used it at some other point.
There were a couple cars involved in that, front runners, guys like Mark Whitley, Christian Angel, who took some pretty heavy hits, and I'd have to imagine those cars especially would probably want to come down and take that fast repair. I saw a couple cars crab walking after that incident. John Houchin looked like he was in pretty bad shape as well, so definitely some cars are going to want to use that, but we'll see how many actually do. Right now, looking a little further back in the field, Eldon Stewart, Christian Angel, Daniel Cunningham, Levi McCarty, Brandon Wallace, Jacob Lange, and John Houchin back there, all taking that fast repair along with 2 or 3 other cars.
Just a couple of drivers not going to be on the lead lap. It looks like Houchin, Sisk, and maybe Daniel Parks might still stay that lap down, if not more. Hoagie's going to take the lead here in the 158. He's going to be followed by Sean Kaiser, Tim Bates, Tyler White, Colton Sisk, Mark Cofield, Mickey Isaac, Joseph McWhorter, Andy Kurtz, and Barrett Morton. Really, this is more like a tale of 2 Sisks. Colton Sisk, the son of Ricky, is up here in the top 5. Meanwhile, Ricky Sisk Jr., they're back here in 36th on the lap down. That's definitely 2 ends of the spectrum for the parent-son duo.
Yeah, we're going to have a couple cars lap down after that accident with just the amount of drivers who got caught up in that one. We've still got 4 cars up here at the front of the field that have not made that pit stop yet. Hogard, Bates, White, and Sisk all still running on the same fuel and rubber they started the race on. And then you've got some guys up here. Sean Kaiser, Mark Cofield, Mickey Isaac, all took fuel only. First car on 4 tires is still going to be Joseph McWhorter. He'll roll off in 8th on this restart. And then Barrett Morton in 10th. Also, took 4 tires on that last pit stop. He's last week's winner. He's shown he can get it done here in the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series. He could try to go back-to-back here over the first 2 weeks. That would be amazing for his championship run. We're going to head into the restart zone in just a second, and the green flag will drop for Noah Hogard. We're back off in Kentucky.
Drivers taking off and headed down toward turn number 1. Hogard and Kaiser going to chase one another, and they go side by side into turn 1, and it looks like right now, it's going to be Kaiser taking away the lead from Hogard.
Oh, caution.
As they haul the mail, and here we are, caution number 3. As they say, cautions breed cautions. Last week we run nearly clean, and this week not so much.
Yeah, we've got a couple cars caught up in that one. Oh, we're 5 wide in the middle of the pack. That's the 99 of Brandon Wallace taking a huge hit there. 58 car as well going around. That's Doug Ellingson at the back. You got the 12 down there. That's Ricky Sisk Jr. Another accident. That race has not been good for them.
No, and I mean, first of all, to put cars 5 and nearly 6 wide and playing with beyond fire, that's gasoline and a cigarette. First of all, these drivers coming in here, they've got to know that you can't be gunning it through here. I mean, the fresh tires and this setup tonight, don't get me wrong, it feels like a rocket ship, but they're going to have a really hard time trying to keep all those cars from touching one another. Just remember, 2 cars can't occupy the same space on the asphalt.
Yeah, it looked like we were almost 6 wide heading down into there. I mean, that was so many cars in such a tight space, and when that happens, when something happens in front of you, like Doug Ellingson going around there, you just can't really dodge it. These restarts are intense. Kentucky is wider than your typical 1.5 miles, and that kind of lets these guys get all over the place and make some of these more aggressive moves that we've seen here.
Yeah, and you talk about the fact that this race car is wide. I mean, this racetrack is wide, I'm sorry. Yeah, you think that 1.5 miles is not a wide track. This track is nearly the same width as Talladega, and that's a 2.66 mile super speedway. So, you're looking at and trying to just basically cut off the ends of Talladega, sew them together, and here we are at Kentucky. I mean, to me, I think it's great. I think it makes really exciting, racing. But by the same token, you're not going to be able to extend that kind of a green flag run if you keep making those choices.
Yeah, we've mentioned Glove Station a couple times tonight as the title sponsor of this series. They're committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs, from tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between. Glove Station has got you covered. With the endless amounts of safety products on the market, they want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. So we very much thank Glove Station for what they do for this series. They are the title sponsor of this ARCA series, and they're getting a pretty good one tonight. 62 to go here at Kentucky.
Yeah, quite frankly, without Glove Station, we wouldn't be here at all, period. So we do appreciate them. Sean Kaiser out of Bellingham, Massachusetts. He's going to bring us back to green alongside of Noah Hogard. Mark Cofield and Tim Bates going to be just behind them, while Barrett Morton rounds out your top 5. Joseph McWhorter out of St. Robert, he's going to be back there in 6th position. Tyler White, Mickey Isaac, Andy Kurtz out of Quakertown, PA, and Phoenix, Arizona's very own Jamie Libke holds things down here in the number 16 Lambda Legal Toyota Camry.
Drivers are all doubled up. We'll go back green on lap 20, 1/4 of the way through this race. Those drivers who stayed out on the older tires on fuel seems to be working pretty well for them so far, because they have ran a lot of caution laps since that last pit stop. Those drivers who took the 4 tires, Morton and McWhorter, they're still only 5th and 6th because they've only had about half a lap to actually gain the spots that they would need in order to get themselves up to the front. I think they will prevail if we get a green flag run, but those cars have already put 10 laps on the tires and they're all under caution. So this is working out a little better for those drivers who stayed out on lap 10. Pace car will pull off here. Sean Kaiser, Noah Hogard will be your front row. Restart zone is going to be at this white line on the racetrack. Kaiser will jump. The green flag will fly on lap 20. Great jump for the 88.
Yeah, the 88 with that Batman logo right there on the hood. It's a Dale Earnhardt Jr. throwback. Looking fantastic as he swings into action now. It's going to go Kaiser, Cofield, Hogard as they haul the mail down the backstretch. Take a look here at the 158. That's Noah Hogard. And he's right now running in just third position. I wouldn't look to see him stay there very long. He's one of these drivers where he will be aggressive. He will get up where he's got to be. He's already proved it. He started 36th. He runs in third right here on lap number 21. 60 to go at Kentucky Speedway. Dave Regal and Sky Shrek with you here on V-Speed. We want to thank everybody for tuning in and making us a part of your evening.
Caution.
Thank you for welcome. And, of course, you know what? I'm going to stop trying to do little plugs here. Bad things happen.
I think every time you've done a read, we've ended up in the yellow here so far this race. It's not gone well.
Up.
This is for Joshua Unger, further back in the pack. Impact between him and Michael Jones. Pretty heavy hit there for both of those cars. 51 getting into the inside wall, the 02. Knocking the front off that car. That was initially some contact there with the 63 machine of Tyler White. They were 3 wide heading down into turn 1. Little bit of a bump into the corner, and then the 63 just slides up the racetrack. 51 might have been able to save it, but the 02 had nowhere to go and kept spinning him around.
Yeah, you know, that's one of those where as you're spinning around helplessly, you're waiting for the car to catch, and you think you got it, and it's one of those, I got it, and you know you don't got it when you hit that inner wall. That's just kind of a sickening feeling to think you have it, and then you damn sure know that you don't.
Yeah, he came very close to getting that thing caught back up. I think he might have been able to do it there if the 02 wasn't there, but I mean, there was nothing that he could have done about that accident. He was just trying to run. Michael Jones was just trying to run his line and had a car spin down on top of him when he wasn't looking. Gonna have a couple cars in the pits, but they're all pretty far back in the field. No one up front coming in, just some of the guys who took some damage in that accident. Some of the drivers who are running at the back likely gonna just refuel it on fuel here. Levi McCarty has pulled that car up to 9th. He's gone from 34 to 9 in the early stages of this race. Pretty good start for the driver in that 21 car. He came down pit road on lap 11, but it does not appear to have stopped in the pit box per my counter here, so maybe missing his pit stall and driving it back out. He's still in 9th.
Want to take a quick minute here and take a peek at the 63 machine of Tyler White in the Red Bull Ford Mustang. Here's to our recent SimRig recipient, Tyler White. Tyler has served in the United States Marine Corps for 10 years as an avionics technician. His duty stations include Cherry Point, North Carolina, and Kenoi Bay, Hawaii. I think that's Kenoi Bay. And recruiting in Indiana. We are proud to have Tyler as a member of Goat Locker Racing. Of course, he is our Warrior Spotlight driver of the evening. And listen, a tip of the cap and a salute to Tyler White. We appreciate him. And, of course, everything that he does. And, I mean, you know, this is one of the things where the rubber has met the road with him. You know, being a racing rig recipient, I mean, Sky, just a really great opportunity here for GLR.
Yeah, it's so great that we're able to give out these racing rigs here to veterans. It's really a cool thing that Goat Locker Racing does, and I hope that with the help of our partners here, people like Love Station, we're able to continue that long into the future. Caution is still on the racetrack here. We should be getting back going on lap 25 because the lights on the pace car are now out, and it'll be Sean Kaiser up front, Mark Cofield newly in second.
Want to also make sure to thank our good friends over at Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They are one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses, and they, of course, were our Spring Series title sponsor and a huge partner of GLR and everything that we do at Goat Locker Racing. And, you know, I feel like we don't say it enough, but Pat Drabick here at GLR does just about more than anybody else I've ever seen for the nonprofits in our circle, and Pat has been an incredible acquaintance and friend to get to know.
For sure. He's not running this week, but if you ever see him in that Friday Truck Series, he's always a threat to get the win over there. Pace car will pull off here on lap 25. Once again, Sean Kaiser, Mark Cofield, your front row, Hogard and Morton, first car on fresh tires, back there in fourth. We're having a stack up at the back, but we're going to enter the restart zone and go green. Sean Kaiser gets a great jump there, and it looks like we shook all that kind of chaos out there before we went green.
Yeah, you know, half the secret to this is just getting...
Oh, call around, Tyler White. Well, that didn't take long. Tyler White, James Goshen. Heavy contact for both of those cars. Didn't make it down into turn one before we had some contact. I'm going to take a look at the Glove Station ARCA Series replay. Goshen into the back of Tyler White. Down the racetrack, up the racetrack, and then Goshen was sent into the inside wall. I think Goshen might have had a little help there. He had a car real tight to the bumper of that 085 when he made contact.
Yeah, and you know, this is turning into one of those situations where, you know, we've got to get some green flag racing under our belts. We've got to get a longer run because at this point, until you get some separation between these cars, which you can only get under green, we're going to keep having situations and incidents like this pop up time after time, as we're only on lap number 26 of 80, not even at the halfway point. And quite frankly, folks, you know, those of you just tuning in and whether you're on your home phone or, whether you have us at home or on your phone, this is not indicative of the normal racing that we see in the Glove Station ARCA Series. These drivers are usually incredibly safe, and they can get in and out of these race sessions darn fast, at least by my estimate. You know, this is just the result of 38 drivers being on the racetrack.
Yeah, we mentioned it at the start of the show. Kentucky is not a racetrack that a lot of these guys are very used to. Kentucky not ran on the NASCAR calendar anymore, including on iRacing, so you don't really get a chance to run it during the season on iRacing. They might throw it in once during the NASCAR off season in one of the cars, but it's not a track that makes frequent appearances on any car's schedule. So this is one that a lot of these drivers don't race on very often, and one that a lot of them probably haven't raced on in about a year or so. So this is a track that these drivers some of these drivers, especially some of the newer ones in the field, are kind of learning on the fly here, learning how to be fast here, and that might be contributing to some of these incidents.
Well, and you know, eventually somebody's going to be on race radio at some point going, hey, listen, guys, let's get things calmed down here. Let's tighten up those belts. Let's stretch your arms, and let's do this. You know, 27 laps after, 26 minutes of green flag racing. That's just not what these guys in the ARCA Series are all about. And, I think we're going to see some of that cream start to rise to the top. But at this stage, Joseph McWhorter's got to fight his way back up to the lead. Noah Hogard and Sean Kaiser have been our race leaders over the last several laps, but really just kind of by default because we haven't gotten any chance to compete.
Yeah, this has worked out very well for those cars who have not taken fuel at any point this race. Noah Hogard is still in second, and he hasn't really had any threats to that second place position because he's just kind of been able to hang out up there. Only made it about half a lap before the cautions fly, so no one's had time to pass him. Same thing goes for Barra Morton. Joseph McWhorter came down and put 4 tires on it, rolled off in 9th and 10th. They thought they were going to be in a great spot with fresher tires than everybody else, but they've only made it up to 4th and 5th. And now they've put 18 laps on those tires under caution, so they don't have that same advantage that they did before.
I want to thank everybody tuned in here on the YouTube.com live chat. As looks like Mike Browning saying, no, not the bearded wonder. As then it says, Ray Ellingson says that Eddie is the best, and I know that he's hanging out in here. So, Eddie, apparently you are, and I quote, the best. Travis Bieber, the pride of Ole, Pennsylvania, says he's watching Andy Kurtz pacing around the track. Puts him in a good mood. As Travis Bieber is one half of the Route 73 Mafia out of Ole, Pennsylvania, representing the 610 up there. Because everybody should know where Ole is.
I know where the 610 is. Does that count?
That's close enough, yeah.
Used to be my
It's in
phone
that.
code. All right.
My man.
We're going to go side by side up here as the pace car pulls off. It's still going to be the same front row. Sean Kaiser, Noah Hogard, Mark Cofield, Barrett Morton. Already having some problems there at the back, but we're going to keep it going good. Green flag flies on lap 29. Sean Kaiser gets another great jump.
Kaiser's been really able to time his starts really well, and he gets a nice jump over the 158 and the 97 of Cofield and Hogard. Deeper in the field, as you had mentioned, we had some problems, but now getting back underway out of Winchester, Virginia, Daniel Cunningham looks to the inside of the 117 of Warren Clayton. And Clayton here in that Monster Energy Arrow machine out of Indianapolis, Indiana, he now rides the high line just ahead of the double deuce of Skylar Daly.
Side by side for second up here. We were side by side for the lead for a second. Noah Hogard wanted it, couldn't get it. Now Barrett Morton working those fresher tires is going to finally have what he needs, but we're going to have a caution for third. That's the 97 of Mark Cofield. Hard into the fence, and he's going to stack up 3 or 4 cars behind him.
That is not what you wanted to see, especially at this stage in the race when you're up there battling in that top 10.
Not at all. We're going to get a replay here. 97 got into the fence, came down hard into the side of Hogard. You've got Levi McCarty, 48 car Andy Kurtz taking major damage in that accident. I know McCarty has already used his faster pair in this race. He's going to be in trouble. Kurtz, luckily, still has his.
50 laps to go. We take another look at this. The 97 just getting pounded around it against the inside wall. Brings himself to a reasonably safe stop here against the inside. Mark Cofield's going to be crawling out of that window net, angrier than a hornet. My God.
That was a big one there for a lot of those cars. We're going to see if Cofield still has the faster pair there on that machine to get it back out.
Hogard just overshot his pit box as he's going in reverse up pit road now. Can't park there.
He also hit the pit wall trying to get it back into his pit box, so he's going to have to do some parallel parking to try to get that thing back to where it needs to be, because they're not going to service that car if he is just kind of sitting there. He's actually going to have to tow it into his pit box. So that is going to be at least a lap lost for Noah Hogard there. A lot of cars now into the pits this time. Sean Kaiser, who was leading this race, will come in. He'll be joined by a lot of cars. I'm seeing Daniel Parks on pit road. Skylar Daly coming in as well. We've got a lot of drivers making pit stops here on lap 32.
Yeah, now lap 32, especially at the pace that we've been running, these drivers have a reasonable chance now at going the rest of the way. I mean, they could have made this a one-stop race. Now it's going to be a one-stop race for sure, as many of them are just going to get topped off on fuel. I mean, let's see, we've got at least our top 4 or 5 having been on lap 9, 13, 17, and 22. I want to thank our friends at Glove Station, and here at Glove Station we are committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, we've got you covered. With the endless amounts of safety products on the market, we want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs.
I'm not sure if we can get a replay, but we had a crash on pit road involving Casey Jones in the 34 car, who was in that last wreck on the racetrack. He was coming down pit road trying to get into his box as Daniel Parks in the 71 was trying to get out of his box. And Casey Jones ended up in his pit box the wrong direction. So bad to worse for that 34 car.
You know, sometimes I think that was more frustrating than anything back during my driving days. I mean, you make one mistake and then you get frustrated with yourself, and next thing you know, you're like nose into the wall, you're angry, you're frustrated, and all of a sudden you go from having an kind of race to a no kind of race.
Yeah, that certainly happened for Casey Jones here. He's still sitting in the pits. I don't think he has that fast repair to get it back out. So it is going to be a long, long wait for that 34 car. We've got our first couple DNFs tonight. Jacob Lanke, Levi McCarty, both out of the session there with damage. That is a big blow to Levi McCarty. He's someone who was expected to challenge for the title in this series. Finishing 36-37 tonight is going to be the exact opposite of what he needs, and he's going to need to have some big races over these next 6 weeks if he wants to close that gap back up, because he is going to be in a big hole in the point standings after tonight and Daytona. We're getting ready to go back green here. New look front row, Barrett Morton and Joseph McWhorter stayed out, and they will be your top two. It's last week's winner, taking them down into the restart zone here as we take lap 34 on the racetrack. It's an early jump for Barrett Morton, and he does exactly what he needs to do on the green flag.
Yeah, if there's two drivers that I want to see go at it like this, it's Morton and McWhorter. Morton coming off the win last week, and McWhorter just being a dominant driver in this league. Here's caution number 7. Just kidding.
That is further back in the field. Looks like Ricky Sisk going for a ride in the 12 car after some contact involving Bobby Whitley and Michael Jones.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough one. Ricky Sisk out of Fort Worth getting sideways. Honestly, kind of more of a collateral damage situation.
Yeah, Michael Jones was coming into the restart very, very hot and just... I think he just misjudged it, hit Bobby Whitley, turned Whitley into Sisk. There was nothing that 12 car could have done about that one.
Nope. If he was a judge in a court of law, somebody would absolutely have appealed that decision to go ahead and goose it like that.
Yeah, I get the reasoning behind trying to go about 110 on the restart if you're catching up to the field, because you think no one's watching, you can blow past some cars, but you got to make sure you don't hit anybody if you're going to do that. I think he was trying to maybe get it through the middle and then maybe realize at the last second that you're not allowed to go through the middle until you hit the start-finish line. I couldn't tell you, but it didn't work out there at all.
No, and believe me, you know, it's kind of like in the real world. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. And it's not necessarily cheating, but he was definitely trying to improve his track position here as we work on lap number 36 of 80. Barrett Morton going to be our race leader again. So once we reset, we should have that same front row, Morton and McWhorter, on what should be somewhere in and around lap 38 when we go green again.
Yeah, it'll be almost halfway through the race now. Still McWhorter up front, but it'll be Christian Angel. Or my bad, it will not be Christian Angel. Barrett Morton's internet disconnected him from the session there for about 5 seconds, and I got scared that he had come down pit road. He will still be in the lead. It will still be Justin McWhorter second. Christian Angel, Eldon Stewart, third and fourth there. Just taking a look at the pit strategy. Christian Angel came down about 4 laps later than McWhorter and Morton did, and they took fuel only, so maybe an interesting call there. He's got a little more fuel mileage than those top two do. Eldon Stewart also came down on that lap, but he took 2 tires.
The 2-tire call is kind of a strange one for this stage in the race, but you know what? Who am I to go ahead and try to guess anybody as Jake Ham checks into the YouTube.com live chat with a shake and bake, baby. I'm not going to say that next one there because it makes me want to throw up. And Gray Cross says, how many cautions have come out of this race? Really, though? That's where we're going there? It was you, huh? I thought we were cool like that.
Guilty is charged on that one there in the chat from user ALMY.
You just wanted to see if you could make me vomit on air, and that's just not happening tonight.
Unfortunately, you are outnumbered up here in the booth between me and Mike. Lights on the pace car will be out. It'll be Morton and McWhorter up there on the front row. This is a great chance for Barrett Morton to try to win 2 straight races. He's really gotten hot in Goat Locker racing over the last month and a half or so. Won a race right at the end of the Friday Night Truck Series season. Took one away from the playoff drivers at Martinsville. Came in here, survived the chaos, got the win last week at Daytona, and now we're having another pretty chaotic race here at Kentucky, and he's right back up front. If there is a lot of cautions, if there is a lot of carnage, Barrett Morton tends to be a driver you'll find at the front of the field.
You know, and that's a situation where that's heads-up driving from these guys up front. They know that as long as they can kind of stick together, keep away from that mayhem, they'll be just fine come the end of this piece. And maybe with about 10 to go, then they can start, you know, getting the hammers and tongs out. But for the time being, side by side they go here on lap number 37. It'll be 38 when we go back. Green flag racing. Morton McWhorter, Eldon Stewart, and Angel Rowdy. Warren Clayton, Brock Price, John Houchin, James Goshen, Josh Unger, Tim Bates. That's going to be your restarting top 10. The iRacing.com pace car peels on down pit road for the 7th time tonight. And as Morton comes into the Geico restart zone, he's going to drop the hammer, mash the pedal through the floor, and off we go on lap 38.
It's another great jump for Barrett Morton. That inside line really seems to have an advantage there in the restart zone. All night long, Morton gets it again. It'll be Christian Angel challenging McWhorter in that 72 there, down on the bottom for the 2nd position. McWhorter has done a pretty good job of being able to defend on the top over these last few restarts. He'll try to do it once again here. Has to stick it to the top because he's not quite clear of the 79.
Oh, the 88 nearly went sideways. I hate to cut you off, but we just about had caution number 8. We stayed green here on lap 39. Sean Kaiser was just starting to dirt track his way through 1 and 2, kept it together.
Barrett Morton almost got turned around there too. A little bit of contact between, or almost contact between him and the 79 car. Christian Angel kind of had to back out. That will demote him to 4th. Eldon Stewart up in that 1 car drives it through to 3rd, and McWhorter in the 72 will be your new leader on the racetrack right now over Barrett Morton and Eldon Stewart. We're going to take halfway this next time around. Lap 40 out of 80 as Barrett Morton continues to dive it down to the bottom. He's trying to get the lead back.
Yeah, Morton here trying to get back up to McWhorter. I mean, if you watch here in the bottom corner of your screen in that battle box, I mean, they're not running that far apart from one another, but at just over 1/10 of a second, nearly 2/10 of a second now, it might be time to settle in and just let this race start to dictate itself instead of trying to, you know, name your own destiny here. But they go side by side behind them. The 88 and the 44, they go side by side as that Natty Light 44 up, and caution number 8 is in the air. Jamie Libke seems to have been involved.
She is stopped down there on the inside of turn 1. Just past halfway now in this race, and we're going to see what happened to that 16 car. She's already spinning. A little bit of contact with the tire barrier down there. This must have happened down the front straightaway, which is not a place where we typically have accidents here. Contact with the 99, and yeah, it looks like the 99 car there, Brandon Wallace, just kind of turned her around entering turn 1.
Yeah, she's not going to be happy with that result. I mean, you know, the 99 was just being really aggressive from back there behind. And I mean, you know, I'd like to say rubbing is racing, but that was a little bit more than rubbing.
Yeah, that was bump drafting like it was last week at Daytona. That's the kind of thing that works there. Doesn't really work in the tri-oval at Kentucky. I mean, it barely works in the tri-oval at Daytona. Bumping while turning generally does not work, and yeah, you see that right there.
Well, we've made it past the halfway, so we've got that going for us. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Sky Shrek alongside myself, Dave Regal, here in the ooh, that was almost bad. In the V-Speed broadcast booth, Michael McCarthy in the production truck on the 1s and 2s and everything in between. We want to thank everybody for tuning in and welcoming us into your homes and onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. And Gray Cross, that counts as number 8 for the cautions tonight. But so far, really great racing overall. I mean, you know, it's just a matter of getting ourselves back on the green flag wagon.
Yeah, I think if we can get that kind of long green flag run, we'll be good to the end of the race, but we need to get there first. We got to get out of this kind of cycle of just caution after caution after caution, because these restarts at this track are hectic. You'll see cars go 3-4 wide, and when cars go 3 to 4 wide, it tends to breed more cautions. I want to shout out one car who's gone 37th to 5th. That's Brock Price. Haven't talked about him almost at all this race. He spent 1 minute and 40 seconds in the pit box at one point earlier on tonight. But he's driven it up to 5th here over this run. Played some pit strategy. He stayed out longer than a lot of cars in the field. And he's running up in P5. Quick update on the drivers who pit this lap. Mickey Isaac, Daniel Cunningham, Andy Kurtz, Brandon Wallace, Alan Smith, Chuck Feltz, David Calvert, and Ricky Sisk. All in for 4 tires this time.
I mean, you know, at this point, we're past the halfway. You might as well go ahead and punch your ticket and decide. With the volume of cautions that we've had, you can probably do pretty good on fuel. I mean, maybe not that full 40 laps or whatever it is now at this point, but you're going to get pretty darn close as long as the cautions keep falling the way that they are.
For sure, there are a couple more cars coming down. Mark Whitley, looks like Warren Clayton, Skylar Daly, both in the box. Bobby Whitley, Jamie Libke. Don't think I mentioned Chuck Feltz. He's also come down there as well. A lot of cars getting some tires, getting some fuel. Colton Sisk included in that as well. So looks like about 10 cars in total there making their way down pit road. We've got a couple of in front of them. Sean Kaiser, Mark Cofield, Daniel Parks. That came down about 10 or 15 laps ago. Goshen and Richards there, 6th and 7th, came down 17 laps ago. And then you've got this whole top 5 kind of running on their own pit strategy program here. Price 28 laps ago, Angel and Stewart 30, Morton and McWhorter, your leaders right now on this restart, 34 laps ago. So some very varied pit strategy here. I think we'll see all these cars up front have to pit one more time. But with the amount of cautions that we've seen in this race, might end up working pretty well for some of those cars in the back. It is a 65% fuel load tonight, so you can't run it all the way, but the amount of cautions we've had is absolutely going to help the fuel mileage for some of these drivers, and it might get them more laps than they otherwise would be able to make. Front row will be McWhorter and Morton once again. Swapped places, though, so this time it's McWhorter getting the jump as we go green. Leads him off down into turn 1. Morton stays 2nd, and we're side by side between Eldon Stewart and Christian Angel, 3rd and 4th. Morton did a good job to hold on to that outside line and stay in P2 because we've seen some battles here between the car that started first on the outside, 2nd in the inside on restarts, and Angel going for a ride. Good save there, but he'll lose about 5 positions. Big winner, James Goshen runs around the outside and gets everybody. We're 4 wide now in the mid-pack for that 6th position. Contact on the corner with Cofield, and somehow everyone's all right.
Oh, my. Somebody go out and play the Powerball because it doesn't get much luckier than that. My God. That's going to move James Goshen out of Cambridge, Ohio into 3rd position. That was almost like trying to separate, you know, a salad bowl after putting the thing together.
That was wild, and it's great news for McWhorter and Morton because they've gotten a free 2-second gap back to Brock Price in 4th after that. They are gone up there in your first few cars. They've got a problem for a car a little further back. That is the one of Eldon Stewart. He was running out the front for a lot of this race, and he might have some damage or something, I'm not sure, but he went from that battle with Christian Angel and has since fallen all the way back outside the top 20, so major problems for that one.
Yeah, he's fallen back now to 25th position, stays on the lead lap as now James Goshen here running in 3rd position just ahead of Brock Price, and wow, the 99 coming out of nowhere, just trying to get out of everybody's way. Kind of a dangerous situation that could cause a caution in and of itself as we work here on lap number 48 of 80. Joseph McWhorter, your race leader, your pole sitter as well, just about 0.2 of a second ahead of Barrett Morton.
Yeah, and just one quick note on that one car. His lap times now are about 4 seconds slower than they were prior to that contact, so major problems for the driver of that one car. Back up front, the battle is still McWhorter and Morton, and the caution is out further back in the field. I'm going to see who that's for. Looks like Jamie Libke was involved again.
You know, the only thing that I'll say about the volume of these cautions as we wait, there's, wow.
This started in front of that. They were actually
Sure
three
did.
wide ahead of Libke. There was some contact down into the corner between Chuck Phelps, Kevin Price, and Joshua Unger. And I think that kind of checked everybody up. That checkup was what got Libke into the back of Calvert. And then Libke overcorrects into that outside wall, trying to keep it off Alan Smith.
As I was starting to say, right before seeing that kind of an impact, they were 3 wide, and it just did not end well. Oh. You know, you hate to see that for somebody like Libke, who's trying to run as clean of a race as she could, and now winds up back in 25th. All of these cautions have kept a lot of cars on the lead lap because, you know, if you're going to be in that lucky dog, you're just going to be able to cycle right back up there and stay on the lead lap.
Oh, for sure. Looks like it'll probably be the 117 car, a Warren Clayton this time around, getting that lap back. We got a lot of takers on pit road. That includes McWhorter and Morton. And it's looking like your top 7 cars are going to stay out on the racetrack. That'll be Mickey Isaac, Cunningham, Kurtz, Price, Bates, Calvert, and Alan Smith. They will all stay out. Jeremiah Holt will come out on 8th on a fuel-only call. And then once again, first cars on fresh rubber will be McWhorter and Morton, 9th and 10th. So you got to wonder, is 30 laps the fuel window to go to the end of the race? Is that why so many cars pit right now?
It's entirely possible, and that's going to cycle after coming in on lap 42. Mickey Isaac here in the 01 V-Speed Ford Mustang from Kite, Kentucky, kind of a home racetrack for Mickey, if you will. Kite, Kentucky is over there in Knott County.
Yeah, I haven't talked about Mickey Isaac much tonight. I think we mentioned him on the starting grid and then never again, but he's gotten up here on some pit strategy. Going to lead some laps. We'll see if he can make this strategy work. He does have 8 cars on a similar tire situation to him. Actually, he's got 6 cars on a similar tire situation. He pit 8 laps ago. So on lap 43, came down, took 4 tires. Pretty good strategy call for him on that one to get himself out front. Cunningham and Kurtz are on the same strategy. Price and Bates will certainly need to pit. They pit 19 and 29 laps ago, respectively. And then Calvert and Alan Smith, both also on that lap 43 pit cycle. Alan Smith has pit 7 times this race, and he's still running 7th. A lot of chaos tonight.
Hey, you can pit 7 times and stay on the lead lap. Not a bad thing, so to speak, as Isaac's going to go double file alongside of Daniel Cunningham here in the 91 out of Winchester, Virginia. Andy Kurtz and Kevin Price restarting in 3rd and 4th. 5th is going to be Tim Bates. 6th is David Calvert, Alan Smith, Jeremiah Holt, Joseph McWhorter, and Sean Kaiser will make up the rest of your restarting top 10. Mickey Isaac with control of the field follows the iRacing.com pace car into turn number 3.
We'll see if he can get a good jump on this restart and use those tires to his advantage. They're only got 8 laps more wear on them compared to your leaders. So 6 cars for McWhorter and Morton to get to before they get to Isaac. He might stand a pretty good chance at this, especially if the cautions keep flying and prevent those cars from actually getting to use those tires. It'll be Isaac and it'll be Cunningham on the front row. They'll enter the restart zone. It's a late jump for Mickey Isaac, and he doesn't get going at all. Daniel Cunningham is going to get to the outside, and he'll take the lead before we even hit turn 1.
Andy Kurtz was all but shoving the 01 down the front stretch and into turn 1, saying, "Get out of my way, I've got things to do here," in the Lowe's Chevrolet as he gets that Cobalt machine, wow, right up to the rear bumper now of the 01 to almost bump draft him through and get down the racetrack. The 80 of Kevin Price now looks to the inside of the 48. He's going to hang out back there and get in line as they're 3 and 4 wide behind.
That's Barrett Morton on the outside of that 3-wide position, trying to use those new tires to get up to the front of the field here. We're side by side from fourth as well. That's Kevin Price, that's Calvert. This is the battle back here for 7th. You've got McWhorter on the inside, you've got Morton on the inside, or on the outside. Those are the 2 cars who took fresh tires on that restart and were 3 wide behind them as well. Kaiser, oh, a little bit of a move up the racetrack there for Tim Bates. Near contact as he'll drop a couple spots, go back to 12th.
Working here on lap number 55, getting into a nice groove now is the field. We look back here, Benjamin Richards in the 56. He's going to work, whoa, the 085 just slides in front of the finger-licking good 00 KFC machine of Alan Smith. Somebody should probably get him a new fire suit because that one has got to be stained here on lap 55.
Look at that car, got a hole in his nose a couple spots back there, and he's still driving like there's no problems with it. I believe that is the 44, John Houchin back there. No nose, no problems for him. He's working pretty good. Top 3 have pulled out about a second, but the car in 4th is Barrett Morton on that fresh rubber. He is under threat right now, though, from David Calvert in the 35. Meanwhile, for 2nd, got Isaac and Kurtz going at it. This is the bigger battle right now because this is going to be Morton on new tires, trying to beat Calvert on older tires. It's going to be a litmus test here. Because Calvert is on the same rubber as those top 3. How hard is it to pass a car on the same strategy as Daniel Cunningham?
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, Andy Kurtz is going to have to figure out when to take this run. Like, we can see him getting a run underneath the 01 here, and then the 01 just is better on exit. I mean, you know, the 48 gets a really good entry, the 01 gets a really good exit. Watching these two, it's almost a well-balanced, well-oiled machine as we take a quick peek back at the 35 of Calvert, who is under attack in a 3-way battle now for 4th position. Barrett Morton takes that for now, as the other chicken machine, the Bojangles 35, works just over top of Joseph McWhorter here with 23 laps to go. The 88, it seems like this is the former race leaders section back here, as now the 88 gets under the Bojangles machine and sets his sights on the 72 of Joseph McWhorter.
And caution is out further back in the field. We got the 87 there. Trying to come down pit road. That is... I'm not showing an 87 car on my ticker, so that's someone who is driving the 87. That is Tim Bates there. 989 on your ticker, 87 on the car. Let's see, was he just coming into the pit lane here? Yeah, he was. I don't think he was across that caution. He was just kind of entering the pit lane when it came out. I'm not sure what the cause of that yellow was. We're going to have to try to find out.
We might have to call that a debris caution here because I don't see anything registered. Taking a look here at the 63, though.
Oh, there you go. He's missing a nose on that thing. No, let's see how that happened. Oh! He got big loose there mid-corner, straight into the outside wall. That was contact from below with Doug Ellingson. I don't think he was thinking the 63 was going to be entering that slowly.
No, now they call that an air-cooled engine here. Oh,
this is an interesting wreck when it comes back around and we get to see it. Doug Ellingson just carries so much more speed into the corner, into the door of that 63 car. That's what causes that. It's going to be 20 to go after that accident now, as we're still under caution. Laps are running down rapidly, and the urgency is only going to climb for a lot of these cars. I don't think we're done with cautions yet.
No, and you know, you talk about the urgency, and I can remember days sitting in the racing rig just dripping in sweat as the stress got higher, and of course the intensity got higher. And that's one of the things that I think is great about Goat Locker Racing. It's the adrenaline-soaked driving that we experience here. The cars may be virtual, the track may be virtual, but the competition is absolutely as real as it gets. And at Goat Locker Racing, we provide virtual racing equipment, racing team building opportunities, and fundraising events to support community initiatives that improve military and public servant quality of life. And we seek to grow our competitive team of drivers and promote VR racing as a healthy activity to newly transitioning veterans and their families. We believe that friendly competition, adrenaline-soaked driving, and community gatherings are essential to a good quality of life for our civic servants and veterans, and that GLR can be a force of good across the state of Indiana and beyond. And those donations, if you head over to goatlockerracing.org/donate, they'll go toward equipment for qualifying drivers, racer simulation training for military, firefighter, EMS personnel, and police, public racing events and community outreach with a mobile simulator, other veteran-serving nonprofits, and of course, veteran education supplement grants. And, I cannot express more that you need to head on over to goatlockerracing.org/donate, because as a contributor to Goat Locker Racing, we make sure that your donation goes directly to supporting our cause of helping those veterans and first responders. And we thank you in advance for your generosity. Look, I got through an ad read without a caution flag, except that we were in the middle of caution.
There you go. Look at that. 1 for 3, 4. We got it done eventually. It'll be Daniel Cunningham and Mickey Isaac on that front row. Roles will be reversed from the last restart. If you recall, Mickey Isaac started on the bottom. Didn't get a good jump at all, and by the time we got to turn 1, Daniel Cunningham was clear. Isaac is going to be looking to get a much better run this time around on the restart, while Cunningham is going to look to not do what Isaac did last time and get a good run down into turn 1. Behind them, it'll be Andy Kurtz. And this yellow, great news for Barrett Morton because he's got fresher tires than these cars in front of him. Got a car stopped back there, but we'll go green anyway. Daniel Cunningham, Mickey Isaac into the restart zone, and it's a great jump for Cunningham. Terrible jump for Isaac. It's going to be Andy Kurtz sneaking through the second by the time we get to turn 1.
And they kind of go scatterwalled here just behind the 9 of Barrett Morton. As now we're side by side again, the 88 of Sean Kaiser peeking to the high side, and now to the underside of the 9. He's trying to get himself just around. Let me through, says Sean Kaiser, as now he's considering diving in front of the 35. Obviously, the spotter just said, no, you stay up and don't try to cut his nose off. As Daniel Cunningham, our race leader, leads here with 18 laps to go. All of a sudden, this battle for second position heating up. Joseph McWhorter now gets underneath Andy Kurtz, and Kurtz falls into the clutches of Christian Angel Rowdy.
McWhorter was side by side with Cunningham for the lead there about a lap ago, and he wants the lead because he's got those fresher tires. That outside line getting held up was huge for McWhorter because it took away his best competition in Barrett Morton. Now we'll go side by side for the lead as we head down the front straightaway. McWhorter and Cunningham for the lead of this race with 17 to go. McWhorter's got the bottom, Cunningham's got the top, and the 72 will get clear. Will he be able to slide up in front of the 91? He will. New leader, Joseph McWhorter.
The Easley, South Carolina native of Christian Angel Rowdy slides back here into third position and now looks underneath the 91 of Daniel Cunningham. Christian liked leading and wants it back, but Joseph McWhorter says, not so fast, my friend, as he now takes the lead with 0.2 of a second over Daniel Cunningham. Another battle breaking out here. Watch the 71 of Daniel Parks underneath the 97 of Mark Cofield. Now Cofield nearly having to get that front fender right behind the 71. They decide to check up and slow their battle down. But it is a war zone from top to bottom right now.
This is so good for McWhorter because he's getting some gaps over the cars on a similar tire strategy. Christian Angel is the next one. He's still trying to deal with Daniel Cunningham for third. Barrett Morton hasn't even got back up into the top 3 yet. He's only just now gotten to 4th after dropping back about a row and a half there on that bad restart. So he is going to need to get himself back up into this top 2, into this top 3 if he wants to win the race. The laps continue to tick down. Christian Angel, 8-lap fresher tires compared to Daniel Cunningham, but that 91 is giving it everything he's got right now for second place. He's still on the outside of Angel, and he'll get clear of Angel. What a drive for this 91 car. He is fighting back.
Yeah, he's not going to be put to bed early tonight, as he's going to have to hold Angel way back here just about 0.2 of a second. And now Barrett Morton sliding back in the 9 into 5th position. he can't possibly be pleased with that performance for the time being. But deeper in the field is where I'm looking. Look at Mickey Isaac here in the 01 V-Speed Ford Mustang. I mean, now just a tenth of a second behind Andy Kurtz. This might be one of those times where you kind of back off, let those drivers fight it out, because Kurtz is in a battle right now. You might as well try to capitalize on somebody making a mistake rather than you shoving your nose where it doesn't belong.
A little bit of contact up there for second. Angel kind of in the left rear of Cunningham down the straightaway. He'll take a big slide into the corner, and as he comes up on exit, he'll get clear of Cunningham. It's a really bad corner for the 91. He got tight on exit. That's going to allow Sean Kaiser in the 88 through. He'll get to third. It'll let Barrett Morton in the 9 through. He's now racing for fourth. And Cunningham, in the span of one straightaway, goes from second to fifth, and he might fall to sixth, because now he's got Kurtz and Daniel Parks trying to take that position.
You know, that's something that we can see at a place like Kentucky Speedway. I mean, you know, where all of a sudden you get out of your own line, you know, where you were comfortable, where you were hitting those times, where you were doing what you needed to do to get down there to the checkered flag. And, I mean, sometimes all it takes is a little bit of a disturbance, and race drivers are creatures of habit. You interrupt their flow, bad things are going to happen. That's exactly right.
Near contact there, the 48. Right down on that right side of that 71 car of Daniel Parks back there in that battle for sixth, and now Mickey Isaac is going to get spun around behind him. That is going to be another caution. Big hit for the 35.
Caution number 11 on the books tonight. Mickey Isaac involved in this one, something we don't really like to see, especially with just 10 laps to go. But a rough night here for Mickey Isaac, my goodness.
That's David Calvert taking a massive hit there with James Goshen. Yeah, he kind of just got checked up by the 48, kept coming down. The 35 closed in quickly, and that is huge damage for all three of those cars.
Well, we work here now with just about 10 laps to go. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. What do you say we step aside and pay some bills here with this dime spot left here on V-Speed?
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
We're back here at Kentucky. Had some pit stops there for some of your leaders. Daniel Cunningham coming down along with Andy Kurtz. And it looks like a bunch of other cars. Everybody from Barrett Morton in 14th on back, making a move down pit road. Some interesting plays there. We're going to go back green with about 6 to go, 7 to go. Maybe those drivers are hoping that these 4 tires can get them up to the front, or maybe they were about to run out of fuel and they had to come down on that. Either way, several leaders into the pits will give us a new look. Front 10. It's going to be Joseph McWhorter and Christian Angel still up front with Sean Kaiser in third. Daniel Parks has been promoted to fourth. Chuck Feltz, haven't heard him much today, but he'll be in fifth on this restart. Benjamin Richards, Alan Smith, Mickey Isaac, Jeremiah Holt, and John Houchin, the rest of your top 10.
As the iRacing.com pace car lights are going to stay on this lap, we want to thank everybody. Nope, they turn off for this lap. There they go. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Of course, here we are in week number 2 of the Glove Station ARCA Series summer schedule. Of course, we're part of the Goat Locker Racing family of series here on iRacing.com. You're hanging out tonight with Dave Regal and Sky Schreck in the V-Speed broadcast booth. Of course, Michael McCarthy out of Matamoras, Pennsylvania, on the 1s and 2s and everything in between. as we've got Kentucky tonight, Darlington next week. I can't wait to go see the Lady in Black, especially in these ARCA cars. Then Homestead, Miami in 2 weeks, and then after that off week, as you had mentioned, we go short track racing at Richmond. And, I think that's one of the things ARCA cars are most exciting at when we go short track racing. So I can't wait until we head down there into Virginia.
This is going to be a very important restart here. We're going to go back green with 7 to go, and this could be the restart that decides the race. Will those cars who are going to be back in 13th, 14th, 15th, will they be able to get back up here on those fresher tires, or will the drivers like McWhorter, Angel, and Kaiser prevail? There is going to be a lot of frantic racing, a lot of drivers making some big moves here to try to hold on to this lead with 7 laps to go. McWhorter, Angel, Kaiser, Parks, your top 4 after 73 laps. McWhorter enters the restart zone, and he gets a huge jump. He's gone to start lap 74.
Christian Angel and Sean Kaiser have nothing else that they can do besides duke it out amongst themselves and decide who's going to go after McWhorter himself. At this point, they're nearly door handle to door handle, coming out of turn 2 and down the back chute. Here they come. Christian with the edge now, nearly touching the 88 again, forces him to check up, and that opens the door for Daniel Parks in the number 71 Wix Filters machine to get a run now. 7 laps to go as we come back to the line. It's 6 to go now. Joseph McWhorter, your race leader. Not a whole lot of real estate here as the finger-licking good 00 chases down our hero Mickey Isaac in the V-Speed 01 Ford Mustang.
I do want to note, with Mickey Isaac, he's the only car left on his strategy. He's the only car who hit 32 laps ago. Might be running it a little close on fuel down to the end of the race. We'll need to watch that for sure here as we come around to 5 to go. It's still Joseph McWhorter out front. It's still Christian Angel second. Move trying to be made for third. Sean Kaiser takes a little bit of a peek up on Daniel Parks down the straightaway. Doesn't end up working though. Running all different lanes. Parks trying to run a little bit up to get a better run out of the corner. We'll see if it works. With 5 to go, it's still McWhorter out front.
To piggyback off of what you said, Mickey Isaac is committed.
Caution!
Caution.
This is Colton Sisk, and it looks like Casey Jones around on the back straightaway.
Do you think somebody tried to tell these drivers that these cautions were cheaper by the dozen?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened to Casey Jones here either. This is in front of him. Oh, that's a big wreck. Oh! Whoa! That is a huge hit for that 96 car. Colton Sisk turned off the nose of the 22 of Skylar Daly there. I think he just got loose out of the corner. Lost more time than Daly was expecting. 96 got sent around in some air time for Casey Jones.
Yeah, the 96 was just pirouetting helplessly, and Casey Jones had no place to go. And you can say, hey, they're wrecking down the bottom of the racetrack, and you can dive high, but, when you have that kind of a split-second reflex, you have no choice. Bad things are going to happen. That's the bottom line.
I mean, that's bad for all those cars. That's Skylar Daly. Skylar Daly's already 16 laps down, turning Colton Sisk, and Casey Jones is already 9 laps down. I mean, it's bad to worse for some of those cars.
Good quick tip of the hat there to Michael McCarthy for that replay angle. That was fantastic, man. These guys are incredible down here on the racetrack. I mean, most of the time we've seen some really good saves tonight, but Casey Jones, not a happy boy.
Guess what? We're going to overtime. We got some cars coming down pit road here. Wonder if it's anybody who is at the front there with a potential fuel concern. Does not look like it at the moment. It was Mark Whitley, Bobby Whitley, both making pit stops. This is going to bring us to overtime. We're going to do a couple extra laps. I believe we're going to have 2 shots at a green-white checkered if it's like last week at Daytona. You get 2 tries here. We're going to take the green. If we take the white, the race will end under green. If we take the yellow, we'll re-rack it and try it again, unless it is the second attempt, in which case the yellow will end the race at that moment. It'll be McWhorter and Angel up front. It'll be Parks and Kaiser still 3rd and 4th. Good run for Chuck Feltz here in 5th. He'll try to move up and steal one here at the end.
Yeah, this is one of those where your bet is made. Now it's time to lay down and just wait and hope that the bed bugs don't bite. And in this case, it would be a yellow flag. Joseph McWhorter, he's going to be in control of the field when we go back green flag racing. I really have to stand by what I said a minute ago. I think Mickey Isaac is just committed in saying, you know what, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. Let's run this thing until it's dry, because that fuel cell has got to be all but bone dry.
The cautions are helping him, but now that we're adding extra laps onto the race with the cautions, they're going to be hurting him. We're going to go back green this time. It'll be lap 79 of our regularly scheduled 80. We'll be adding an extra one on here tonight for your green-white checkered. Joseph McWhorter has led just under half the laps in this race. He's been undoubtedly one of the most dominant cars all night here. He's trying to have an underdog run to win this race if he can survive Christian Angel in the 79. He's been up there all night. He's been fighting with that 72 for the better part of 30 laps now, and neither of them have been able to get away from each other. Will he get a good jump on this restart and hold tight to the 72? Looking behind him, we've got some cars who've been up here. Sean Kaiser was running in the top 3 earlier this race. He's back here when it matters the most. He'll restart 4th. He's got a chance to get something done. Daniel Parks in 3rd. If the 72 gets another great jump on the bottom, watch for Parks to try to slide through and steal 2nd from Christian Angel. Even further back, we've got some stories. Will Mickey Isaac run out of fuel? Will Barrett Morton in 9th, the first car of this group on fresh tires, be able to find his way back into the top 5? A lot of things left to be decided here as we head into overtime. 2 laps to go at Kentucky. Joseph McWhorter is going to enter the restart zone. He'll go late. He is off. Green flag is out.
McWhorter gets a nice jump over Christian Angel Rowdy as we now haul it down here into turn number 1. As they roll through turn 2, it looks like Parks and Kaiser are going to be duking it out. Like 2 kids sitting in the back seat of that station wagon. The 88 wins this battle, and it opens the door now for Chuck Pegleg Phelps to find that extra gear and get down into turn number 3. Joseph McWhorter leading the way. Christian Angel Rowdy running P2. They come across the start-finish line. The popsicle sticks go in the air. The white flag is in the air, and we're racing back to checkers.
Race will be official now. It's all on McWhorter and Angel. McWhorter has the lead right now. Will Angel get the run he needs off the corner? No, he's in the fence back there. That might be what the 72 needs to win this race. He'll be 2 tenths, 3 tenths now clear. Down into 3 and 4. Exiting turn 4. Angel isn't close. And it'll be Joseph McWhorter coming around to win the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series race in Kentucky.
McWhorter gets the checkered flag, and as he captures that, Christian Angel Rowdy going to bring the 79 across 2nd, and Sean Kaiser gets the Batmobile across in P3. Barrett Morton comes home in 4th with Daniel Parks in 5th. Chuck Pegleg Phelps, Mickey Isaac, Benjamin Richards, Alan Smith, Daniel Cunningham. That's your top 10 as drivers getting the opportunity now to cool things down for the final time tonight as it's all over. The checkered flag waves, and Joseph McWhorter picks up his first win of the Summer Series schedule right here on the Glove Station ARCA Series.
Man, I'm pretty impressed by Joseph McWhorter and his ability on these restarts to get away and just dominate out here. All race on these restarts, he was quick. That last one was one of his worst, and he was still well clear by the time he got into turn 1. A great win and a well-deserved win for that 72, leading 40 of our 81 laps tonight. Most dominant car all race, and he's going to be burning it down in victory lane as well. We're going to take you to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have results and we'll have interviews with McWhorter, Angel, and Kaiser. Stay tuned. We are back here at Kentucky. We're going to get your results for tonight's race here in just a second. Your race winner tonight, the 72 of Joseph McWhorter, is going to finish in P1. Christian Angel in P2, and that 79 was Sean Kaiser in the 88 in third. Barrett Morton managed to get it back up to fourth on 4 tires at the end. He'll finish P4. Daniel Parks, P5. Good run for Chuck Phelps tonight. He'll bring it home P6. Mickey Isaac hangs on to the fuel in that car to finish 7th. Benjamin Richards will finish 8th in the 56. Alan Smith, 9th in the 00. And Daniel Cunningham, 10th in the 91.
As we look at the best of the rest, Andy Kurtz out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania. He comes home in 11th with Eldon Stewart in 12th. Brock Price in 13th with Mark Cofield in 14th. Kevin Price comes home 15th with Brandon Wallace, Jeremiah Holt, Jamie Libke out of Phoenix, Arizona. Ricky Sisk Jr. comes home in 19th as they come out of Fort Worth, Texas, that is. And John Houchin rounds out your top 20.
21st tonight will be that 74 machine of Mark Whitley. 22nd tonight is going to be the 51 of Joshua Unger. The 989 of Tim Bates finishes 23rd with the 60 of Bobby Whitley in 24th. Warren Clayton in the 117 will finish in 25th, with Daniel Kirkiel in the 83 and 26th. James Goshen in the 085, 27th, followed by Colton Sisk in the 96, Noah Hogard in the 158, and Michael Jones in the 02.
Doug Ellingson comes home in 31st with David Calvert in 32nd. Casey Jones and Skylar Daly come home in 33rd and 34th, respectively, while Tyler White, our Warrior Spotlight driver of the evening, comes home in 35th. Jake Ellingson in 36th with Levi McCarty and Jacob Lenke beating everyone to the beer stand tonight in 37th and 38th positions.
We're going to bring up into the booth now your first place finisher, Joseph McWhorter. Joseph, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Great wins tonight. You led half the race, got it done. How does it feel?
It feels good, and it's been a while since I've been in victory lane and anything, so good to be back.
Tell me about holding off the field there on those final few restarts. You were getting some great jumps pretty much all race to get that thing done.
Yeah, just timing the restart's really good, kind of reading your competition. Christian got a really good start on that last one there. I was kind of worried he might stay on my right rear quarter panel, but I got through the gears just a little bit better and was able to get clear going through 1-2, and then just feed him as much dirty air as possible through the corner and try and break that draft down the straightaways. And luckily I was able to pull away there at the end and get away from him and feed him some more dirty air, and then he ended up catching a wall. So pretty much took care of that, and then we cruised on to the victory.
This race had a lot of cautions. There was a lot of carnage, but you managed to survive it all and get it done. How'd you manage that?
Luck. Some of the restarts were a little bit crazy because we had some guys that didn't really have a lot of experience up at the front and with those different tire strategies, and it was causing some mayhem. And we got sandwiched in between the 48 and somebody else on that one restart and shot us down into the grass, and was able to save it and somehow didn't get any damage on the race car. So we just got lucky there, and then it was just, do everything you can to try and save tires when the laps were going green and just pick them off one at a time. And luckily we got lucky in a couple of those restarts of having some of the slower restarting guys on the opposite lane, which got me around like the 9 and a few others. So that's just luck.
All right. Anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Yeah, first I got to thank all of our partners. We got Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Indian Department of Veteran Affairs. All of you guys, thank you for everything you guys do for the league. My personal sponsors, RedCamelRacing.com. They're not on the paint scheme right now. I still got to get my paint scheme made, but RedCamelRacing.com, go check them out. Outlier Speed Co. Mason Setups, go check them out at outlierspeedco.com. 29 Graphics. They make some beautiful paint schemes. Go check them out at Trading Paints at 29 Graphics. You guys for putting on the broadcast, all the admins for all the hard work, and ready to get into next week and see if we can't go back to back.
All right. Well, congrats on the win tonight, Joseph McWhorter. Go celebrate.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. See you guys next week.
All right, we're going to throw it now over to Dave Regal. He's caught up with our second place finisher tonight, Christian Angel.
Hey, Christian, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4. How you guys doing?
Man, pretty good, but not as good as you. You climb up 2 positions tonight after starting in 4th. Your fast lap was 31.321 seconds. It's got to feel a little upsetting when you realize that all you did was barely rub the wall, and that was enough to kill your run going after Joseph McWhorter.
Yeah, I mean, it really sucks. I really would like to get that against Joseph. I'm really good buddies with Joseph. I'm good friends with him. Obviously Mark Whitley's my teammate, so I've got a lot of experience from Mark as far as driving this car and a lot of things. So, I mean, yeah, it sucks to come in second place, but, at the end of the day, second place is second place. It gives me some good confidence in this car, still learning it. Obviously, I'm new to this league. I'm new to Goat Locker, so never raced here before. So second place, I'll take it. Would like to win, but, just that's how racing is sometimes.
Yeah, one of the things that I think some racers forget is that you can't win every week, and you certainly can't win on lap 1, but you can absolutely lose on the final lap. You had a great run tonight. What are you looking forward to next week? It's almost a home track for you at the Lady in Black there in Darlington.
Really fun to go there. Love Darlington. Been there plenty of times in real life. It's a great track. It's very much a driver track, A lot of tracks that we come to, like tonight, I feel like was a lot of track position more than anything. If you could kind of get up there in track position, you could stay up there in front of guys, even if you maybe didn't have the best experience or you weren't the fastest as far as dirty air goes with this car. I feel like Darlington's going to be in the driver's hands, so it should be fun. You should see the cream of the crop rise at that track. So it should be a lot of fun and a great show for you guys on V-Speed to call.
All right, my friend. Well, listen, congrats once again on the P2 finish. Before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank and tip your helmet to tonight for helping you get it done on the 79 team?
Let me first go ahead and thank all the sponsors for this league here. Jam Printing and Promotions. Obviously, we got to thank Glove Station for, being the title sponsor of the ARCA series. Let me go ahead and thank you guys for broadcasting. Really appreciate you guys putting on a show so people can watch, especially our sponsors and everyone around that supports the league, and obviously Alexander PCs. As far as my sponsors, I'd like to thank Harpoon Design. If you guys need a car painted, go over to harpoondesign.com, best in the business. I'd like to thank my team owner, Brantley. Does a lot for me and Mark. Jawa is a new sponsor on our car that we just recently got, so we'd like to thank them, and my spotter, Brantley, and my good friend, Vector, who's always cheering me on.
All righty. Well, folks, that is Christian Angel from Easley, South Carolina. We want to thank everybody for paying attention, and we will see you next week at the Lady in Black.
I see you guys. Thank you.
And Sky, I believe you have with you now Sean Kaiser.
Hey, Sean, you got a copy?
I got you.
Third place tonight. You started up front, kind of battled your way back up there at the end. How's it feel?
It feels great. I mean, we had some good runs where it was fun driving through the field. Just the way the cautions were flying and stuff like that. You didn't know when you should take your tires, but you knew you had to take it at some point. So you had to bite that bullet at some point. But lucky enough, I had enough speed and enough wherewithal and mindset to battle my way back up through a chaotic field.
Yeah, I was going to say, of the cars who finished on the lead lap, you had the least incident points out of anybody. How'd you manage that?
It was just being smart, knowing when to push it, when to not, knowing who you're racing around. I mean, there was a couple times where it got hairy. I got punted in turn 1 and basically dirt tracked it around that whole entire corner. But yeah, I wasn't doing anything too risky. I just knew when I had the runs, and I was focusing on, thinking about when to take the run, and if I do take the run, when I'm going to be able to clear them, and just thinking ahead, I feel like helped me out.
All right, tell me about your battle there over the last 2 laps when you were racing with Daniel Parks.
Oh, it was a great battle, to be honest. Like I said, like when I took tires, I had the battle from the back, and I honestly wore them out. Like I just wanted to get back to the front because it was so chaotic back there, and I knew if I had a chance, I had to get up there quick. And I was very tight towards the end. Honestly, I think he was a little bit faster, but I wasn't going to give it to him, and I was racing him hard and keeping it close to his door. But hopefully he has no ill will about it. It was just hard racing coming down to the closing laps, but it was definitely fun for me.
All right, anyone you want to thank tonight?
I want to thank iRacing, for putting on a good service above the line, Sim Motion, and also Glove Station for putting on this great series, Goat Locker for the whole entire league in general, you guys and V Speed for having a great broadcast, and I want to thank my team, Bandit Motorsports and Cofield Asphalt Services and Cofield Supply Services. We have a great team over there. A lot of talking, working together on those restarts, helping each other out. So overall, good night, and yeah, I'll take it third place.
All right, congrats on P3, Sean Kaiser.
Thank you.
And that'll be the end of our coverage tonight at Kentucky. But next week, same time, same place, and on V Speed, we'll be back at Darlington. Dave, what can you tell us about the Lady in Black?
Listen, the Lady in Black is a unique racetrack in and of itself. First of all, one of the oldest racetracks on our circuit. It's a classic track, and it, to me, should be timeless. Of course, the track was relayed out a couple of years ago, well, more than a couple of years ago now, but the front stretch is where the back stretch used to be and vice versa. There is so much history locked up in that old track. I can't wait to go and just tell some of those stories as we're going to be able to get around, of course, Darlington, right down there in the Palmetto State in South Carolina. So I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And Sky and everybody else, we want to thank you for everything that you do here at Goat Locker Racing and here on V-Speed. We want to thank everybody for tuning in and welcoming us into your homes and onto your phones. And, of course, Michael McCarthy back in the production truck on the ones and twos and everything in between, as well as our chief cook and bottle washer, Eddie Smith, for keeping an eye on things and making sure that we stay between the lines right here on the Glove Station ARCA series, part of the Goat Locker Racing family of racing series. And so for myself, Dave Regal, my co-commentator, Sky Shrek, and Michael McCarthy, I want to thank everybody. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.